Here are 6 of the most horrifying creatures ever whispered about in villages, jungles, and frozen coastlines around the world. Every single one of them comes from a real folklore tradition that people, in some places, still genuinely fear today. You're walking home along the edge of a Thai rice paddy after dark. The air is thick and wet and the frogs have gone completely silent. Then you see it, a faint greenish glow floating about chest height drifting between the stalks of rice. It gets closer, and you realize the glow is coming from a human head, just a head. No shoulders, no body, except for a long, wet tangle of intestines and organs hanging beneath it, swinging gently as it floats. This is the Krasue, a spirit from Thai folklore with close cousins across Southeast Asia. By day, she looks like an ordinary woman, a neighbor, a shopkeeper, maybe someone you've known your whole life. But every night her head detaches from her body at the neck, dragging her organs out with it, and goes hunting. She craves raw flesh and blood, and she's especially drawn to the smell of childbirth. Pregnant women and newborns are her favorite targets, along with fresh carrion she can find in the fields. Villagers who suspected a Krasue lived nearby would plant thorny vines around their homes at night, hoping her trailing intestines would snag before she reached the door. If you ever want to be rid of one for good, legend says you have to find her body while the head is out hunting and destroy it. Without a body to return to before sunrise, the head is trapped outside forever and withers alone in the dark. That one's disturbing enough on its own. But the next creature doesn't hunt with intelligence or hunger or even malice. It hunts with disease because its entire body is a plague waiting to happen. You're a fisherman on the Orkney Islands off the northern coast of Scotland, walking home along the shore just after sunset. The tide is out, and the wind carries a smell like rotting meat. Then you hear it before you see it, a wet, dragging, galloping sound getting closer across the wet sand. What emerges from the sea is the Nuckelavee, and it is, without exaggeration, one of the most nightmarish creatures in all of Scottish folklore. It takes the form of a rider fused permanently to the back of a horse, except neither of them has any skin. Every muscle and vein is exposed and raw, glistening beneath a layer of thick black blood. It has a single giant eye, burning like a coal, and arms so long they drag along the ground as it moves. The Nuckelavee's breath alone is enough to wither crops, sicken livestock, and spread plague through an entire village. Some Orkney legends blame a real 19th century epidemic directly on its breath drifting inland. It despises fresh water and cannot cross running streams, which is the only reason anyone in these stories survives an encounter, by getting a river between themselves and it before it catches them. That one, at least, has a weakness you can run to. This next creature doesn't attack you directly at all. It's smaller than your thumb, and that's exactly what makes it worse. In the folklore of the Yu people of Ghana and Togo, in West Africa, there's a creature that can slip through the tiniest gap in your window without you ever noticing it enter. Because in its natural form, the Adze looks exactly like a firefly. It drifts into houses at night as a tiny point of flickering light, and if it finds a sleeping child, it lands on their skin and drinks their blood while they sleep, feeding slowly enough that the child simply wakes up sick, pale, and weaker every day with no obvious cause. Here's the part that makes it worse. If you manage to trap the firefly in a bottle, in a net, anything, the Adze can't stay in that form any longer. It's forced to take on a human shape to escape. And whoever it becomes is revealed, right in front of you, as a witch who has been living among you the entire time, hiding behind a familiar face. If your skin is already crawling, that's a good sign you should hit like right now. It's genuinely the only thing that tells the algorithm to show this to more people who'd enjoy suffering through it with you. Deep beneath the northern cape of South Africa, there's a sinkhole locals call the Wonder Hole, hundreds of meters of vertical rock dropping into complete darkness, and by local legend, it's the lair of the Grootslang. Afrikaans folklore describes the Grootslang as one of the very first creatures the gods ever made, a mistake, built with the raw size and strength of an elephant and the cunning, poison, and hunger of a serpent, all in one body the size of a house. The gods supposedly realized their error and tried to split the elephant and the snake into 2 separate, more manageable species. But according to the legend, at least one original Grootslang survived the split completely intact. It's said to guard an enormous hoard of diamonds inside its cave system, using its intelligence to lure greedy treasure hunters into the dark with promises of riches, then simply devouring them whole. Multiple documented expeditions over the past century have gone looking for the Wonder Hole's treasure. Several of them never came back up. If a giant elephant snake in a sinkhole sounds bad, You should probably know the next one lives in the forest right outside your own village, and she's been luring in lost children for about 1,000 years. You're a child lost in a birch forest somewhere in Eastern Europe, and it's getting dark. Then through the trees you see it, a small hut, standing several feet off the ground on a pair of enormous, scaly chicken legs, slowly turning to face you as you approach. The fence around it isn't made of wood. It's made of human bones, topped with skulls, their empty eye sockets glowing faintly from within. This is the home of Baba Yaga, one of the oldest and most feared figures in Slavic folklore, long before modern retellings softened her into a quirky old woman who occasionally helps the hero. In the original stories, she is a cannibal witch with iron teeth and one leg made of bone, who flies through the night sky riding inside a large mortar, rowing herself forward with a pestle, sweeping away her own tracks with a broom made of silver birch. If you're unlucky enough to end up at her hut, she may set you an impossible task, sort an entire granary of grain from dirt overnight or fetch fire from across a haunted swamp. And if you fail, or if she simply decides she's hungry, you become dinner. Her fence of bones isn't decoration. It's a warning made from everyone who failed before you. Every creature so far wants to kill you outright. This last one is worse because what it does to you doesn't end when it eats you. It just continues. In Aboriginal traditions from parts of Australia, there's a small, red-skinned, man-shaped creature that lives up in the branches of wild fig trees, waiting. It's called the Yara-ma-yha-who, and it's barely the size of a child, which is exactly why nobody expects it. If you fall asleep resting in the shade beneath one of its trees, it drops down onto you silently. Its hands and feet are covered in small, suction cup-like pads, and it uses them to attach to your skin and drain your blood slowly without killing you. Once you're weak and pale, it doesn't finish you off with a bite. It swallows you whole head first and lies down to sleep off the meal. Here's where it gets genuinely disturbing. When it wakes up, it regurgitates you back out alive. Shaken, terrified, but alive, except you're slightly shorter than before. And your skin has taken on a faint reddish tint that wasn't there yesterday. If it catches you again, and storytellers describe it as patient enough to wait for exactly that, the same thing happens. Drained, swallowed, regurgitated, shorter, redder. Each time you survive, you come back out a little less like yourself, and a little more like the thing that ate you. Enough repetitions, and eventually you don't come back out human at all. You come back out as a Yara-ma-yha, who yourself, small, red, waiting patiently in a tree of your own, for someone else to fall asleep underneath it. 6 creatures, 6 corners of the world, and every single one of them started as somebody's real, sincere explanation for why a child went missing, or a crop failed, or a fisherman never came home. That's usually how the scariest stories start, not as fiction, but as somebody trying to make sense of something they couldn't otherwise explain. If you made it this far without checking behind you at least once, I genuinely don't believe you. Thanks for sticking around till the end. See you in the next one, hopefully with all your organs still attached, unlike some people we could mention.